US Highway 34. Yeah. Welcome to Saturday's US Highway video, and today is August 15th, 2026. We are going to be starting with US Highway 34. Also, Interstate 71 is coming out on Saturday, August 15th. So here we go. US 34 is near the Chicago area and way up into Granby. Famous towns: Rocky Mountain, Greeley, Loveland, Fort Morgan. Also favorite towns: McCook, anything else? Cambridge, Lincoln, Nebraska. Iowa, we don't get nothing. Burlington. So, let's start with our old pal, US Highway 34. Remember, it's going to get published by Saturday, August 15th. Alright, US 34 westbound officially begins. So welcome to Saturday's videos. Here's a look at US Highway 12, 20, and 45. You can also go check out my US Highway 45 video from May 2026, but US 34 is now available until Saturday, August 15th. US 20 would be available by November. We get Interstate 294 signed for Wisconsin. That should have been Milwaukee. Southbound is signed for Indiana. This should have been Detroit, Michigan. Here's a look at Interstate 355 signed for Aurora and Northwest Suburbs. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 30 westbound. And US 30 is splitting off while US 34 would be heading straight. We get Interstate 39 with US Highway 51 signed for, I am not going to say that, it says Peru and Rockford. That should have been St. Louis, Missouri. Here's a look at US Highway 52 with Illinois Highway 251. You can go check out my US 52 video. We get no interchange for Interstate 80. How sad we don't get no interchange. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 6. Now US 6 is splitting off. US 34 is turning left. Here's a look at Interstate 74 signed for Moline, Rock Island. This should have been Davenport. 74 eastbound, signed for Peoria. Dude, this was confusing for Interstate 74 westbound. Moline and Rock Island. Here's a look at US 150 signed for Henderson Street. This should have been Peoria. And we get Alpha. Wow. Terrible. This should have been Davenport, Iowa. Now we're about to be concurrent with US Highway 67. Oh yeah, look at the Taco Bell over here. This people, it's like a Cordia. When they had iceberg lettuce. So, let's continue. Whoops, it's Psychospora. So now we're going to be leaving US 67. We're signed for Burlington for US 34. Here's a look at the Mississippi River as we go into Iowa. And welcome to Iowa! Yay! We get US 61 signed for Fort Madison and Roosevelt Avenue. Terrible choice for Roosevelt Avenue. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 218 for Iowa City. And I'm not going to say the bottom row. Not going to say it. Now US 218 is splitting off for Iowa City, and we're signed for Mount Pleasant. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 63. Now US 63 is splitting off for Bloomfield, and we're signed for, I am not going to say that, for US Highway 34. This should have been Lincoln, Nebraska. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 65. You can go check out my US Highway 65 video. US 65 is signed for No Control City, same as US 34. This should have been Lincoln, Nebraska. Here's a look at US Highway 69. Interstate 35 is signed for Des Moines and Kansas City. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 169. And finally, US 134 is 169 is splitting off, while US 34 will head into Lincoln, Nebraska. US 71 is signed for Atlantic. I'm not going to say that word. We do not get no interchange for US Highway 59. So sad. Now we're about to join up with US Highway 275. And Interstate 275 is splitting off with Interstate 29, signed for Council Bluffs and Kansas City. And we're about to head into Nebraska. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 75 southbound. No Control City at all. Now we're splitting off with US 75. It's signed for Nebraska City, and we're signed for Lincoln for 42 miles. Yay! No need for Union. It's 1 mile. In Lincoln, Nebraska, we get a mention for Interstate 180. Now we're going to be reuniting with US 6. Oh, I'm just kidding. US 34 will be concurrent with Interstate 180. Whoops. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to. We get Interstate 80 mentioned. We get US 6 on there. We just get no interchange for Interstate 80 westbound. This should have been Cheyenne, Wyoming. And we get Omaha. So we get Interstate 180 ends. US 34 continues. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 81. Now we're finally losing US Highway 81 as it heads into York. US 34 will head into somewhere. Interstate 80 does not have no control city. You can put like Sydney or Cheyenne, Wyoming. Eastbound gets signed for Lincoln, Nebraska. But where is Cheyenne, Wyoming? And now we're getting reunited with the S6. And 281 is also joining us. And we're saying goodbye to US 281. US 6 and 34 will be still together in Nebraska. Skipping the rest of small towns, US 6 is now splitting off with US Highway 34. It'll head into Colorado to Greeley and Loveland. And welcome to Colorado! Oh boy. Here's a look at US Highway 385. I didn't want to do all the Nebraska's small towns. I had to skip it because it's too boring. It'll take really long. In Fort Morgan, we're about to be concurrent with Interstate 76. Now we're splitting up with Interstate 76. We get US Highway 34 signed for Greeley and Estes Park. Yay! We get Estes Park! That's where we meet US Highway 36. Now we're going to be concurrent with US Highway 85. It is signed for Cheyenne, Wyoming. US 34 is now signed for Loveland. And US 85 will just head to Denver. And we're heading to Loveland. Here's a look at Interstate 25 and US 87. Both signed for Fort Collins and Denver. Here's a look at US Highway 287. Here we are in Estes Park. We get US Highway 36. So now we're going to turn right. This will take you to the beginning of US Highway 36. So we'll head into Granby. We get US 40, signed for Denver, Steamboat Springs. Huh, Steamboat Springs is a good town instead of Granby. We just get no end sign for US Highway 34. So that is it for US Highway 34 video. That would be published by August 15th. That's Saturday. So thank you all for watching, and bye-bye.